So with the ongoing pandemic, we realize how fleeting life can be, and we regret the things that we never said that we truly believed. Like take, for instance, the last episode of Game of Thrones. My God, was that terrible. I think we can all agree to that. I mean, Bran, they're going to make Bran the king. Ah! But hitting on the last episode of Game of Thrones, that's a pretty popular opinion. A lot of people did not like it. A lot of people did not want to see Bran become king of the Iron Throne. What about opinions that I have about things that I don't like that everyone else just loves? Why should I hold back with all that's going on when any given moment I could get the coronavirus and just die? So there are things that I like to talk about, things that I don't like that everyone else just loves. This is Unpopular Opinion Survey. So we're going to start my list of things that I don't like that everyone else loves with number 9, which is top 10 list. Why is it when everyone wants to do a ranking video, a list, it's always got to be the top 10? Like it always just falls into 10 little numbers. I mean, let's say I did top 10, just the 10 of us characters. Okay, so you start off with Coach Lubbock, the star of the show, and then you get into his hot daughters, Marie, Cindy, Wendy. And you go down the line to family members, and maybe you throw in the father character, the priest, Father Hargill. I can't remember his name, but he definitely make the list of top 10, just the 10 of us characters. But eventually, you run out of characters you like, and you're left with choices between the little baby boy and the little baby girl who did nothing. So why would you have a top 10, just the 10 of us characters, when only like 9 of them are worth a shit? And that's how I feel about top 10 lists. I mean, I think that if you're going to make a ranking video about what the best is or the worst, you don't have to have a set number. You just have what is the worst or what is the best. And that's how I feel about top 10 list. Moving on, someone I already covered, and that is Joe Exotic. I don't like the Joe Exotic one bit. I already mentioned him in my Tiger review, how much I didn't like him. I thought he was a giant douchebag. And with the follow-up episode hosted by Joel McHale, where you learn even more about what a douchebag Joe Exotic was, just shooting some random horse that someone had begged him to take in. Yeah, I don't like Joe Exotic one bit. Okay, moving on. Someone everyone loves, but I really don't like, is Tina Fey. Now, don't get me wrong, Tina Fey, she's a very talented woman. I like that show of hers, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and I like Mean Girls, that film of hers. But whenever she's in front of the camera, I'm just, her comedy is just too dry. A lot of people really like her and Amy Poehler together, but I think Amy Poehler really carries that duo. She's the funny one, and Tina Fey's just kind of, like I said, really dry with the comedy. And I just can't laugh whenever she's telling jokes. Okay, next one we have a food item, and that is lasagna. Now, lasagna, that's big in my family. Whenever we get a family get-together, someone always brings the lasagna. They think it's the greatest thing ever, but I really don't like it. I just think the noodles, the pasta element, it's too thick most of the time. So, I'll eat it, but I really don't like it. Okay, this one's a bit old school. Do you remember the show Life Goes On? I remember it, and I remember I didn't like it. Okay, I liked the first season. The show was about this family that lived in the suburbs of Chicago, just a regular working class family. And they had one son named Corky who had Down syndrome. And he was a pretty cool character, played by an actor who actually had Down syndrome. And the first season was pretty tight. But then in the second season, they focused on his sister, Becca, and her love affair with this moody guy called Jesse. He was down in the dumps because he had AIDS. And this was kind of ahead of its time to have a main character who had AIDS. So I'll give him props to that. But, like the love life of Becca and Jesse just didn't go anywhere. Like I said, Jesse was just always so damn moody. So I really started hating the show after that because they didn't focus on Corky anymore. So yeah. Okay, another old school one. This one involves cameras. One thing I've always hated is when I ask someone to take my photo, I give them the camera this way, but then they tilt it this way. My next one is vertical photos. I don't know what people's obsession was with taking photos this way, but it really annoyed the fuck out of me because I always wanted your standard horizontal photo. Just, my chest and whatever's in the background. But people would always take the camera and they do it vertically. Why? I mean, that photo wasn't going to fit in my photo album because you changed it. So I had to start looking at it, cranking my neck. Really annoying. And I mean, honestly, why did you think it was important to get my feet in the picture? I mean, I never really had any fancy footwear. So what was the point? All right, so this next one is someone I've mentioned before on the channel, and that is Juan Guaido, the interim president of Venezuela. He ain't president of shit. Everyone loves this guy. They say he's the legitimate president of Venezuela. I say no. Bodkits to that. He ain't president of a damn thing. So if you don't remember the story, about a year ago in Venezuela, they had an election, and Maduro, the guy everyone hates, including me, he won the election. But Juan Guaido didn't think this was fair and square, and he was the head of their legislative branch. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, he says, hey, this election, someone cheated. It doesn't count. And because he was the head of the legislative branch, according to the Venezuelan constitution, that made him interim president of Venezuela. Never mind, he just decided he didn't want, to count this election. But, if you follow the Venezuelan constitution, and who doesn't in the United States, Juan Guaido had a month to hold elections to vote on a legitimate president of Venezuela. This never happened. So basically, Juan Guaido should not be the interim president of Venezuela anymore. There pretty much isn't a legitimate president of Venezuela, but try telling that to everyone else. Our president and a lot of other governments recognize Juan Guaido as the legitimate president of Venezuela. Why? Because they want a fucking puppet. And it's fucking plain as day. And I'm on favor of fucking Juan Guaido. I would hate to think that the United States would go into a war with Venezuela to put this guy into fucking power. He's a fucking dope. And, it's not every nation in the world recognizes him as, the legitimate president of Venezuela. But more importantly, you know who doesn't recognize him as a legitimate president of Venezuela? The fucking Venezuelans. Every time Juan Guaido gets hair up his ass and decides he's going to lead the rebellion against Maduro, it falls flat. Because he doesn't have any fucking support in Venezuela. At least not the support he needs to be the fucking president of Venezuela. And I remember watching this once news coverage from Venezuela where Maduro's forces had locked Guaido's people out of some building. I think it was their congressional building or wherever the equivalent is, right? So on one side of this iron fence, you got Maduro's forces and they're all in body armor. The other side, you got Guaido's people and they're shouting. And Guaido decides to be a hero and climb this fence. And, he gets up there, struggles, and he's, kind of resting on the middle of it, and he's just looking around. He's got this look on his face where it looks like he's trying to reflect on all the life choices he's made to get himself in that position. And what does he do? He hops back on his side. And as I was watching it, I was thinking, hey, genius, why didn't you get a fucking ladder if you're going to scale the fence? That would have made things so much easier. And then it dawns on me, Juan Guaido couldn't get a fucking ladder because no one would give Juan Guaido a fucking ladder. And that's all you got to know about Juan Guaido, interim legitimate president of Venezuela. The Venezuelans don't support him. They won't even lend him a fucking ladder. Okay, so next up, also from South America, I believe, is the Macarena. That was a very popular song and dance in the 90s that everyone loved, except for me. Just couldn't get in line with it. Now, I didn't have a problem with the song. The song's pretty catchy. I can understand why people like the song. But it's the little dance that you had to do for the Macarena. I could never figure it out. Quite honestly, I never wanted to figure it out. But whenever that come on, people like, come on, do the Macarena. And then, they try to show me all the damn steps. And like, this is too fucking complicated, all right? When I'm listening to music and I'm dancing, I don't want something that's overcomplicated, all right? I want to fucking relax. And that was never the case with the fucking Macarena. It was just too fucking complicated for me. And quite honestly, I never liked it. Okay, so now we come to my number one thing that I hate, that everyone else just seems to love. I'm going to warn you, this is going to be a very controversial pick. That's because my number one thing that I hate that everyone loves is the Star-Spangled Banner. Yes, the national anthem. And why do I hate the national anthem? It's because I don't think the Star-Spangled Banner should be the national anthem. It is a droll, boring song that has no place representing the great US of A. Now, let's just talk the lyrics. Does anyone really know them off the top of their head? No, most of us, when it starts playing, we just hum and mumble along. Except for the person who has to lead the song because they've practiced it over and over again. So it's not really that inspiring. And people, they tell you have to stand up for it, which is very controversial when people don't. What does that really say about the song that people have to be told to stand up for it? It sucks. I mean, a good song is going to fill you with energy. And when you hear the first few notes, you're going to pop up. You're going to move around. It's like the hustle. Do it. You hear that? The hustle's coming. So you know to get your ass out on the dance floor and shake it. That's not the case with Star-Spangled Banner. Like, again, please stand out for the Star-Spangled Banner. I think a better pick for the national anthem would be Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. I could see a lot of people getting behind that. And that's stand up next to you and defend there still today. For the flag still stands for freedom. And I can't take that away. Well, I'm proud to be an American, because at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the ones who fought and died to make that true. I don't know, but god damn it. Fuck yeah, I hear that. I feel like an American. I feel like going out. Yeah. The Star-Spangled Banner is never the case. It's just droll. It's boring. And what's the story behind it, okay? So, the War of 1812, some guy's on a ship, Francis Scott Keys, and he's seeing the British, they're shooting at this American fort. And, he's impressed that the flag is still standing even after they're just pounding the shit out of this fort. My question is, did he think they were shooting at the flag? No, that's not how that works. I mean, if you're a British guy on a ship shooting cannonballs at a fort, you're not aiming for the fucking flag. You're going to aim for the armory. So, you can hit their black powder and cause a chain reaction, blow the whole place sky high. Maybe you're aiming for the barracks so you can get some casualties. Nobody's going to shoot at the fucking flag. What the hell would be the point of that? So basically, our national anthem is a song about someone who does not understand military strategy, or how the British, they couldn't shoot shit. So like I said, not a fan of the Star-Spangled Banner. I think it needs to be replaced. There's our national anthem. Let's get something that's going to get people fired up and ready to, play some goddamn football when we do that again. And those are my picks for things that I hate that everyone loves. And if you got a problem with it, you can fuck off. I really don't care. I could get the coronavirus, or you could get the coronavirus. We could all get the coronavirus, and we can all be dead pretty soon. So who gives a shit anymore?